This is gold. We need to be recording it. Hit that jingle.
One supports Arsenal, one does not. Put them in a room. What have you got? It's stupid, sexy, arse. It's stupid, sexy, arse.
Welcome to Stupid Sexy Arse, the totally only premiere episode we've ever done. I am Saul. I'm joined here with Kai. How are you doing today?
I'm good, yeah. Thanks, though.
Can you be a bit more upbeat, Kai? You know, come on.
Oh!
We're recording a podcast here.
You want me to be upbeat, do you?
Yeah, I want you to fucking bring some energy to the studio.
I'm going to snake you over here and let the listeners in on a little secret.
Oh, God. You fucking guy. So unprofessional.
Before the episode started, I got a talking to for being too upbeat and too funny.
That is not it.
Because Mr. Saul Kylo, centre of the room, life of the party, has to be the only one in the room.
I am the main host. I am the funny one. Okay. I am the star. And you're here to support me in all my goals.
Alright, go ahead, fucking Jimmy Carr.
I will go first. My name is Saul Kylo. Saul Kylo has been interested in football from a young age. He's not particularly been interested. He's not an Arsenal fan.
Mm-hmm.
As said in the jingle, one is not. That is me. I am not a true Arsenal fan. I'm not a part of the fandom. I do not watch Arsenal fan TV. I don't, do the stuff that Arsenal fans do. Whatever they do.
Well, don't tar us all with that brush.
Yeah. Well, my only exposure to other Arsenal fans is you, so that brush is pretty bad as well. Either way, I've been a fan of football for about a decade now. Probably longer than that, but really into football from then. And I don't really have a team, at least not in the English Premier League, or I support Park Thistle, so it's based well not.
We're based in Scotland, by the way, if you can already tell.
I don't sound Scottish, so they might not be able to tell that.
Oh, you do.
Most people don't think so.
I think most people in Scotland don't think so. I think everywhere else, you're Scottish as fucking, you're like Braveheart.
Yeah, maybe. Well, there you go. You've got a look into our lives and how people in Scotland judge our accents, because most people think I sound like I was an extra in Friends.
Well, like, just American.
Yeah, like I'm one of the people in Central Perk that, gets a line in one time.
Don't know about that.
Either way, my role in this podcast is to maybe provide some interesting perspective. Most of the time it won't be funny, even if I'm trying to be. But, I think, hopefully that can provide a different insight, because usually sometimes within a fandom, groupthink can overtake, and, homerism, we're all blatant, we're all guilty of homerism from time to time, and here to keep it in check sometimes,
I think anyone listening to this podcast can attest that as Arsenal fans and just football fans in general, we get very tunnel visioned about our clubs. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you can provide a bit of insight.
Yeah, for example, my co-host here, I'll just really dig the dirt in before he's even allowed to introduce himself once. Maybe this is, we can see if this is a true Arsenal take, is that, Lucas Torreira was as good as N'Golo Kante. And I thought that was the most egregious take I've ever heard.
Okay. We've had
anyway, introduce yourself, Kai.
We've had arguments that have lasted multiple hours on this subject, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'm just... PSA, I didn't say that.
You will admit that I'm right, okay.
No, I didn't say that. A little bit of background on me. I've been watching football probably since I was old enough to watch it and understand it, so like 6 or 7. And my dad was born and raised in North London, grew up an Arsenal fan, so did I. So pretty much since I've been able to watch football, I've been an Arsenal fan as well. And I've just fallen in love with the club since then, and sound effects coming in.
Ignore that.
That's okay.
It's not professional.
I was pretty much done anyway. We can move on.
Fucking move on, mate. We gotta get to the show.
Alright, go on then.
That's like when they play people off at award shows. They're like, okay, we get enough of your speech. Oh, God's sake.
Yeah.
No, that's just a clue, and actually, I think that's helpful to put in the intro, is we're not a professional podcast. We are kind of new to this. We had a radio show in college. That was pretty shit, let's be honest. So,
absolute dog shit.
There's going to be mistakes. We're going to be wrong. We're going to fumble our speech and probably, stuff like that where I
think listeners are okay with that, though. Who wants like a pristine... You want a bit of shit when you listen to a podcast.
Especially an Arsenal podcast, am I right? Okay, I should probably try not to antagonize the fan base too much. Sorry, I'm a bit hyped up. I'm a bit energetic.
Yeah, what are you? Just take a fucking line of coke before this. What's up with you?
Well, the last show was a bit melancholic, so I'm trying to provide the energy. Okay. I've had 3 cups of coffee. I've really tried to.
Yeah, I can't tell at all.
Anyway, shall we get to the show?
Go for it.
Is that good with you?
Yeah.
You're gonna keep fucking off-railing us, huh?
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. Sorry.
Jesus. Ah, God. God. Anyway, here's the music cue, because first of all, can you stop laughing? It's not funny. Because we have a very serious topic to start off first. Because we must pay respects.
Somber.
Sorry. No, I fucked up again. Go back to the start, damn it.
This is the most fucking amateur shit ever. Can you imagine anyone listening to this?
No, people love this. This is what they want.
Okay, sorry.
I'm cutting the serious moment.
Please keep listening. I'm begging you.
It's very serious time because we must mourn the death of Arsenal's title hopes this season. It was tragic. Some of us saw it coming, some of us didn't. Either way, it's a tragic, mournful thing for all of us. And we will just take it in and take in that sadness. Okay, that's enough of that.
Okay, I don't know if I'm fully having this.
No?
No. I'm mostly with you.
Do you not hear the mournful music?
I hear it.
Do mourn.
Okay,
Mourn, damn it.
I'm mourning.
Okay, sorry, I'll fade out and I'll let you speak, okay? You don't want the morning.
Well, as far as morning's gone, I've pre-mourned by this point. I've been kind of.
Oh, you pre-grieved? No,
I'm an Arsenal fan. Of course, I'm pre-grieved. That's my life.
Right, he's roaming around. He's just apathetic to it. He doesn't feel it anymore. Pre-grieved. He don't even care.
I've to a degree pre-grieved, but I also don't think it's entirely over. I think it's 99% over.
Okay, so
I'm not of this belief that we should just give up now, because I think there's still a very, very, very outside chance.
Okay, so first of all, we should probably obviously, I think literally everyone that would listen to this will know what we're talking about, but just in case, we are of course discussing the Arsenal Man City match, which happened about a decent bit ago, but we're now only getting to it because, to be honest, I wanted to be respectful to my co-host, give him his time to mourn in private, so he was able to even come into the studio and be able to speak about it, because I thought I got some messages throughout the game and I could tell that he was quite emotionally raw, understandably, because I also watched the game and I'm not even fully an Arsenal fan. I even felt a bit sorry for them. So I kind of my first question I want to ask is, could you maybe, I was wondering where you would rank this in terms of the most emotionally impactful Arsenal losses in your lifetime. Where does this rank? Is it high, or did you say had you pre-grieved and kind of come to expect it, so it didn't hit as much?
I mean, in my lifetime, we're talking Champions League finals. Not that I watched that, but I was alive when it happened. Mm-hmm. So I imagine it didn't top that, even though I wasn't obviously around to watch it. In terms of importance, this has got to be, pretty much as top as it gets, really. Although, weirdly, it didn't really hit me that hard, because I really thought it would, but I was just thinking 10 minutes in, they were such a ridiculous class above us that I kind of just it was it just kind of sunk in really quickly. I was just I kind of get it now. They're just way better.
So I feel like
I feel like it would have been worse had it been a really close match on a razor's edge and then we lost it at the end. Then it would have really fucking devastated me, but because they were so much better, I just kind of, you know what I mean?
I did think that was actually a polite thing from Pep and Man City, is to score an early goal and just dominate the game so much so as the final result was not really in question throughout much of the match.
Yeah,
it kind of seemed early on.
No, I knew we'd definitely lose about 10 minutes in. I knew that about that length.
Kevin De Bruyne scored an absolute peach of a goal. You got to give it to him. That's great.
It was beautiful.
Well, an absolute fantastic goal from outside the box, and from that moment you're it seems like Man City are just on a different class, at least at this moment. You know
what? I'll even go as far as saying that we didn't play well at all that match. But had we played the best football we've played this season in that match, I still don't even know if we would have won. Mm-hmm. Even if we'd had Saliba back, we played at our absolute best. I feel like the City were just so unplayable that not only could we not beat them, I wonder what team in world football could have. It's that match really just made me go, wow, they really are just the best team in the world right now. By quite some margin.
Because at the start of the season, they weren't firing on full cylinders, and obviously that's what allowed Arsenal to kind of get a leap on them. Obviously Arsenal played really, really great and consistent football and got loads of results to get that point, but Man City not being at the top of their form also allowed for that opportunity to be there. Mm-hmm. And since Arsenal, it's happened the wrong moment for Arsenal to kind of start faltering a tiny bit, and for Man City just a couple months ago, it clicked. Do you hear that? It clicked. They got Haaland, who was prolific throughout the season, obviously, but recently they've figured out how to properly cement him into the team, and he's even firing even more. Obviously, we should say not with his goal in this game, but with his goals in the next couple of games, he is now broken a record for most goals by a player in a Premier League season in his first season, and the season still has like 6 games left.
Is that the in all competitions stat, or is that just in the Premier League?
I think it's just in the Premier League.
Oh, okay.
But he may have broken both by this point.
Well, he already broke the all competitions one, I think. So
right, okay.
So he just broke the Premier League one with the last game, was it?
Yeah, I believe with the goal against Fulham, I believe he's now the top goal scorer, and I'm pretty sure all those other results, or all those other people at the top of those records, have way more games than him as well. Jesus. So some people, some frauds were saying. It's just to think that some frauds were, positing that he may not transition well to the Premier League from the Premier League. I think that might be the worst take ever heard, because I've never seen. It's like a duck to water, it's natural. It's just what he does.
There's just certain players that they aren't going to flop because certain parts of their game are so dominant that there's no tactic you can employ to get around it. Do you know what I mean? There's no tactic you can employ to get around his pace and power. There's no real way to control him. He's just so beyond. Do you know what I mean? The players he's
at least,
playing against.
Not that someone's found yet,
Yeah.
At least, and on the form, and the form that he's found as well.
But when you've got that kind of those raw attributes, you can't really flop unless you lose those attributes somehow. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he was never really going to flop.
Yeah, it was doubtful anyway. Obviously, could have happened with situations outside of his control, but everything going right, which it obviously has. This is not an unexpected result, but it's maybe a tiny bit surprising just how amazing he's been straight away. It
doesn't hurt that he's got a £1.5 billion squad around him.
No, obviously it never hurts. It never hurts. Never hurts to have De Bruyne and just like 6 elite playmakers on the field with you at any point.
It is like they're playing with like GTA cheat codes or whatever.
Yeah, so that's actually another point I wanted to hit from this match, that kind of struck me as interesting. Is like I was watching the match, and obviously Man City were dominant, and I was wondering, it just made me think, obviously Man City, they have probably the best whole put together squad in the world right now. Mm-hmm. But what struck me as interesting is the people who especially made an impact in this game. It was mostly, well, obviously they all played very well, but for me it was like Haaland, De Bruyne, they just had stormers, and Arsenal were not able to match that. And it just kind of like, Arsenal are a great team. I would say the best point of them this season is they've kind of been more than the sum of their parts. They've all great players individually, but they've figured out a way to play together that's elevated them to even be in a shout with a title contention way earlier than it should have been possible.
For sure, yeah.
But they came against City, and City they have Erling Haaland and De Bruyne, who are literally like 2 of the top 5 players in the world, and Arsenal, they just don't have any players of that top elite level. I was wondering, do you think that
I don't know if I'd maybe a little bit, but you named Haaland and De Bruyne as the standout performers there. I think there was a few more that stood out from the crowd. I know you're saying they had a good team performance, but I'd put John Stones on that level in that match. I thought he was just unreal. And like since Pep had been playing him in that kind of midfield.
Okay, sorry, maybe the 3 I should be mentioning are Haaland, De Bruyne, and Pep Guardiola. Because
well, yeah,
what he's done with John Stones, especially, like making him into like this holding midfielder, and like he's really, John Stones was highly promising and he showed lots of potential, but he always early in his career he kind of had a mistake in him and you didn't fully trust him, and now that's just fully gone. He's just consistent.
Well, he's been that kind of trustworthy player for like 2 or 3 years now, but
yeah, but I feel like this season he's gone even like a level higher.
Yeah, so like you said, Pep tactically knocked it out of the park, but individually the players have got to fulfill the tactics. I mean, they've got to carry out those roles on the pitch, and I thought John Stones played a blinder. I thought Haaland and De Bruyne were amazing. I thought Bernardo Silva was great. Mm-hmm. I thought there was quite a few standout
Bernardo Silva
individually as well as a team performance.
No, Bernardo Silva is always just crazy to me because it's like he's so good whenever he plays, and he's not even a consistent starter. Mm-hmm. Like loads of the time he's on the bench. Sometimes he like doesn't even come on. Sometimes he's just coming on for the 60th minute just to fucking why not just bring in a lead.
I think that's why he wants to leave, because he's like, I'm too good for this shit.
I mean, yeah, I can understand it. It's funny because with Man City, one of the reasons their team has been so good in these recent years is they've gotten these elite players, and they've gotten them to buy into the system, and they've gotten them to accept roles and minutes and like less playing time than they deserve and would get on other teams, but they're buying in because it's Pep, and probably because they're getting paid loads of money that probably doesn't hurt, but also because it's Pep, and you know, just the whole project, and the team is playing at elite level, so they kind of bought these elite players to take that role that is kind of lesser than.
Yeah, yeah.
What? I mean, I hate to do it, but the performance was ridiculously good. Like, I predicted Man City to win on the premiere episode, which we won't talk about anymore. I predicted a 3-1 win, I swear, I'm not lying. But even I thought it would be more competitive, which this game really wasn't.
I think that's what disappointed me most, was not that we lost because all the odds were against us, but that we didn't even give them a game. It was like a school ground game. Do you know what I mean? We're all the best players on one team.
It was like one of those games where like you look up the result on Google and you're like 4-1, that's bad, but watching it was worse. It was
it could have been 8,
like 7. Yeah, I was like,
honestly,
Haaland, it's like he wasn't even trying, and he just got like 5 chances that he probably would have scored in any other match, but he just didn't. Ramsdale had a pretty good game, and he conceded 4 goals. It's just brutal.
He had a pretty good game. I think a couple of the goals were maybe savable.
Yeah,
You might have been able to do a bit better.
But you know, it's one of those where it's like, could you fucking stop this bombardment, please? I'm trying my best. I'm just fucking drowning in shots.
In terms of us going forward, we created next to nothing, which was just really disappointing, because one thing about us this season is our creativity has been off the charts. Mm-hmm. Like, and even I think even maybe our finishing hasn't been quite up to scratch. But what's always been a constant is that we've created chance after chance after chance. We've just barraged teams with chances one after the other.
And you played usually play good football. You know, you're in there, you're doing stuff.
So the fact that we didn't play well annoyed me. The fact that we didn't score would have been fine. It's just the fact that we didn't create any chances was really disheartening.
Disappointing. I can hear the true hurt in your voice. It's quite sad.
No, it's not great.
I saw an interesting thing on Twitter that I wanted to I think it was online at least. It kind of showed the head-to-head matchup between Pep and Arteta, and it's not good for Arteta, let's say the least. I think he's won 1 game against Pep, and Pep has like 9-10 wins. Is that something that worries you, or do you think that's just a product of Man City having the superior team?
No, it doesn't worry me. We'll see how that stat changes maybe over the next couple of seasons, because this is the first season it really feels like he's fully imprinted his tactics and his way of playing and his culture in the squad. So disappointing to lose twice this year, but I've got a feeling maybe in 2 or 3 years that stat could look a little different. I'm not saying that Arteta will have more wins than him by any stretch, but I think it may be a slightly more even tail of the tape.
A bit more competitive.
Yeah.
You've got to hope so. So obviously,
like, don't forget. We start those games you're talking about that he lost to Pep. Mm-hmm. We were playing with Holding. I'm trying to think who was there. Socrates, I think, was still there.
Right. Yeah.
Like, these are the kind of players we're talking about.
But it's definitely not promising when this season when the team is still firing on full cylinders, that the games are still not close. But yeah.
Well, to be fair, the other 2 games we played against them were close.
Okay.
The one in the FA Cup and the one at the Emirates. I think we put in a good game in those couple of ones, even though we were outclassed.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I'm just...
This was really the first one where it was like...
washing. A brutal beatdown.
Yeah.
Not to rub it in too much, sorry. I know I was doing that.
Don't pretend. You love this.
I don't love this. I take no joy in this.
For people listening, he's got a massive smile on his face.
I do not.
Yeah, he loves this.
Frowny face.
He hates us.
Sad emoji, I swear. No, because I may not be an Arsenal fan, but I'm definitely... First of all, I like them to win because I know you'll be a moody prick if they don't. Secondly, I'm a fan of the way they played this season. I think it's been great, that team football. They played some really good stuff. I've been a big fan of that. And thirdly, just because I want Man City to lose. That's my main thing. I'd like them to lose.
I feel like that's what neutrals are united against City. We can mostly agree on that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they're the evil empire, and we're all the little scrappy rebel heroes trying to take them down. Pep is Darth Vader, and Erling Haaland is Anakin Skywalker.
All right, yeah.
I'll stop this analogy. But it kind of made sense. I think I'm actually feeling all right about it.
Get Star Wars lined up. Come on.
So obviously in that premiere episode that we'll no longer talk about because this is the premiere episode, you said we discussed what we think Arsenal should do lineup wise, and you were positing that you thought it would have been a better choice to start Trossard, and we obviously saw in the game that's not what Pep did with he started with Jesus. Do you think? Yeah, Arteta. That's what Arteta chose to start Jesus up front when you thought it would have been better to start Trossard. Do you think? Well, obviously the way the game played out, it's hard to say that it would have made any impact. But do you think that would have been a better choice?
Yeah, I think it would have been a better choice. It's easy to say in hindsight, oh, you got it wrong and this and that, but
you definitely said on the premiere episode, so I can.
No, I did. I was pretty positive. Yeah.
Sorry, this is the premiere episode. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you should have, but I still don't think we would have won. But maybe we might have put in a bit more of a creative performance. I thought Jesus wasn't great. He was quite
Yeah, he got subbed off quite early and decently early into the second half with Trossard. So
yeah, I think the thinking was maybe because it was his former club, there was a bit of like he'll have the vengeance thing in him, where he'll have an extra incentive to score. But
which, to be fair, as a kind of old school fan, I kind of like that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's good for narratives and stuff. But
it did not seem to translate into anything in real life. So obviously,
Zinchenko didn't do well either. So
yeah,
from that point of view,
I mean, who on the team do you think had the best performance?
Who on the team was okay? Reece Nelson did well when he came on. I was impressed by him.
He's always good at coming on, and that's good. No, yeah. I mean that, look, because you can ask for him. Really, you get some players like kind of Nketiah he's not being a great. He doesn't have a great impact on the game when he's subbed on.
I don't agree with that.
I'm pretty sure it was said on the commentary of the game, and I could be totally wrong. This is why I vaguely remember saying that after being subbed on the game like 18 times in a row or something, he hadn't scored in any of them. So obviously you can impact the game more than that, but it's not a great trans record.
Earlier in the season, he was coming on and he wasn't scoring, but he was impacting games coming on. So I think it's rough to say that he's completely unimpactful.
I'm just saying if you sub on a striker late into a game, you want him to score.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
It's just and Reece Nelson has been great. Obviously, that great performance against Bournemouth. So he's kind of like really embraced. Well, I'm sure he'd love to start, but he's really embraced taking any opportunity he has when he does come off the bench.
Unfortunately, he's off at the end of the season, though.
Is he really?
To Brighton, apparently. Yeah, it's looking like.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
More sadness. So obviously, I started the segment doing a semi-comical bit about mourning the title season, and you were. I'm not sure you liked it because I kind of sprung it on you, but you seemed to think that maybe we shouldn't be mourning it. We shouldn't be burying the casket. We shouldn't be saying our prayers.
No, it's fine to mourn because you're right. 99% chance it's done, pretty much. But I think there's still an outside chance. Don't forget, all it takes is for City to lose one and draw one, and for us to win our games, and that's us winning the league. So. Not likely to happen by any stretch. I'm not going to claim that, but not impossible. So let's not give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And
let's at least push them right to the end, and let's not make it like a 10-point gap. Let's make it a razor's edge at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. You want to fight to the rest. Yeah. So, yeah, because right now I believe last time I looked at it, I'm pretty sure Arsenal have played 2 more games, and they're 2 points ahead. Am I correct?
2 or 1. Let me quickly check.
Let's check the stats. I'll vamp for a bit. So what I found disrespectful about this game, and maybe I've not been watching enough Man City, but at the end of the game, Haaland he untied his hair from a ponytail and he just let his hair.
That was disrespectful.
That seemed disrespectful. And to be honest, he should do that more often. Because if I was a defender, I'd be distracted by his hair. It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it was. He's got glorious looks.
He looked like he should be in fucking like L'Oreal advert. It was crazy. But it did seem like disrespectful. Like, I'm just so calm down. I'm gonna put my hair down. That
was cold when he scored with it as well.
Yeah.
If I was a City fan, I'd go fucking nuts at that. Yeah. Just I got the table up here. City are top because they just beat Fulham.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So they're on 79 points. We're on 78, one behind, and they've played one less game than us. So if they win their game in hand, they'll be on 82 points, and we'll be on 78. So they'll be 4 ahead.
And then what? 4 games left? Was it? Sorry.
Yeah, and then we'll have 4 games each left.
So yeah, definitely.
Oh god, actually,
it's not possible.
They'll have to lose one and draw one out of the last 4.
Here are the fixtures. Bring them up.
Let's get up the fixtures. Come on.
Not many more. Anyway, more on Erling Haaland's hair. I've always wanted hair like that.
You had hair like that.
No, it
You
wasn't.
got rid of it.
It was long, but it wasn't like that.
Well,
It was so luscious. I don't know what products he's using. If you're listening, Howland, which obviously you're not, but you know,
He's got a condition, man.
maybe we should tweet at him, ask him, is it like coconut oil? What's he doing there? Or is that just you know, Norwegian DNA? I think they might just have nice hair.
Maybe.
Have you got the pictures up?
Got the pictures up.
I think the fans might be enough of me. Enough of this.
So they've got Leeds at home, which you'd expect them to just. Well, to be fair,
yes.
Big Sam's debut.
We will discuss that a bit further in a later segment.
Let's remind people, recently said he is, in football and tactical terms, far ahead of Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and Mikel Arteta.
I mean,
See that quote?
Where's the lie?
Yeah, exactly. That's not.
I can't find it.
No one's arguing here. So we've got that. Which, to be fair, new manager bounce. There could be an outside chance of an upset. It's
You need
not
like
impossible.
a fucking astronomical bounce for that.
Yeah.
You need like, you know, when you're in a kid, but you need, when you're a kid playing with a bouncy ball in primary school, you need like a bounce that like puts on the school roof. That's the kind of bounce you need.
Yeah.
It's like bounces it into a different millennium.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Big Sam, never doubt. England manager.
Although that's at the Etihad, so yeah, not a great chance there. Then Everton away, which by the way is sandwiched between Real Madrid games.
Right,
the Champions League.
That can be your only hope in that one. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a hard. Goodison Park's a kind of hard place to go anyway. They're in a relegation scrap.
They have been quite shit lately, though.
They have. I mean, sometimes they pull out.
Yeah,
they were. Don't forget, they were shit when they played us, and they managed to get a draw out of us at Goodison.
Yeah,
So-
your hope is that, you know, Deitch can pull off some sort of Deitchian masterclass, and that the Everton players kind of are able to pull out a performance that they have been so far unable to do this season to survive relegation.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And then they've got Chelsea at home.
That's a win for Man City, guarantee that. Write that one in.
Weirdly, that one's the one I'm least confident about because they're so fucking god. I mean, I'm sure we'll get onto the Chelsea Arsenal game.
Yeah, I think we'll do a little bit at the end of that. I feel like there's not much discussion needed about it.
But the last two are the ones I'm really holding out for. Brighton away, they've got.
Okay, De Zerbi ball. Yeah,
that one I could really see a loss coming because they're just their football they're playing is so fucking good.
And I feel like De Zerbi would be like, he wants the scalp of being Man City. I feel like he'd be really up for that.
And they're in a fight for Europe, so it's not like they've got nothing to play for either.
Yeah, for sure.
And then final game of the season, Brentford away.
All right, cool. Can never doubt Thomas Frank, you know, Tony.
Yeah, they've just got really solid players, and it's at home for them, so it'll be a
so
scrap.
Not impossible. We're feeling slightly optimistic here.
I'm not going to go as far as saying optimistic. I'm just saying don't give up. That's what I'm saying.
What? I don't understand your messaging.
Well, optimistic suggests that I'm like jumping for joy and like running through fields of wheat and shit, like Theresa May or something. I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not like crushing the fucking bin, crying.
Only took one episode of the show to get into scathing political commentary.
Political satire.
What the fans are really here for, I think.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, let's go to the next segment, which so, you know, I've watched a lot of law dramas, a lot of legal dramas. I'm quite the connoisseur of TV law.
I'm interested where this is going. On an Arsenal podcast.
A wild return right there.
Go on.
No, so obviously my cross section of interest in legal dramas, and as a sports fan, it makes me the perfect person to be Saul Kylo, the ace sports attorney. And so, you know, sometimes clubs they'll employ me to fight back against narratives that have popped up in football discourse. And today, Arsenal, funnily enough, on an Arsenal podcast, have employed me to fight the allegations that they have bottled the league this season. Here we go. I'm not sure I can play that, but I'm gonna try. Give it a try anyway.
Fingers crossed we don't get fucking done in by the copyright.
Dick Wolf, please be easy on me. We're not gonna make any money.
Well,
on
you've
this
watched
anyway.
enough law shows, so you'll know the.
Yeah, that was fair use. Definitely. Yeah. Objection. Anyway, so I will be honest. I was meant to spend most of the day. We're recording this on Thursday, the 4th of May. Just to let everyone know, I was supposed to spend most of this morning preparing for my case as Arsenal contacted me, and they obviously wanted me to present my case on this show. And, I was fully ready and prepared to do so. But then, a woman, she asked me out for drinks, so it's going to be a little bit of a less research, a little bit less of a research. I'm going to have to go for this defense off the top of the noggin, which obviously, as a legal professional I will be able to. So, obviously, my co-host here, I think, as my defense goes on, I want you to, be free to pipe in if you have any supporting comments or if you have an objection to what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm kind of like the jury here.
Yeah. See if I've defended my client well enough.
Okay.
So, I think for all Arsenal fans, they will be aware that the narrative of Arsenal bottling the league has been quite prevalent on, fraudulent football Twitter and channels, because they fucked up against Man City, and obviously they've been bad. Poor form later into the season, you can see it. You can see why the people have gone that way, and obviously it's inflammatory to a large amount of Arsenal fan base, so you get clicks there. But I don't fully agree with these spurious allegations. I think it's a bit unfair, and it's ignoring the context and reality of the situation. What do you have to say? Good opening?
Yeah, solid. I mean, you've not really said too much here, so
yeah, that's because I'm trolling to my research. So okay, so this is from goal.
No further comment, Your Honor.
Okay, sorry. Yes, okay. Proceed. Yes, I will proceed. Thank you. This is from goal.com. Proceed. This is from goal.com. So I thought important to get a quick definition of what bottling actually means. So this is goal.com's definition. They say in football, to bottle or to have bottled something is to throw away a lead or a good chance of winning when you've been on the front foot. More specifically, it is when a team in a leading position loses that lead spectacularly, directly impacting the outcome of the match or competition.
Go.com, their trusted literary source.
Yeah. I used many citations from them in my academic essays.
Yeah, what is it? Merriam-Webster, Collins Dictionary, and Go.com.
Yeah. Most trusted journalistic sources in the game. That's why I chose them. But so when you see that definition, when you take that definition into account, you can see why some people may apply those terms to Arsenal. They were on top for a lot of the season. They had a decent, pretty significant point differential in the lead, and they have now obviously lost that. They are not top of the league, and they drew 3 games in a row, and one to Southampton, who were bottom of the league, to Liverpool, which Liverpool have been actually quite good recently, so that's not quite as bad as a result. And quickly, who's the other draw against?
The Arsenal draw?
Yeah.
West Ham?
West Ham, that's it, yes. And then obviously a loss to Man City. So it's a 4, I would say that run of form there is kind of what has been termed the bottle. 3 points from 12, 3 points from a possible 12, and that is the reason why Arsenal are no longer top.
Oh, I thought you were about to play a sound effect. Well, okay, so you want I can give you my for and against for that.
Yeah.
I can see why some people might come to that conclusion. There was a significant points lead. We lost that. There's always going to be questions over that. I'd say to counter that, I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, no one expected us to be here, blah, blah, blah.
Hold a moment. My next point. You can't be making my arguments for me. That was literally my next point.
I'm a trusted member of the jury.
Shut up, jury member. You don't meant to be speaking during the opening.
I'm a wise and honest citizen. You can't shut me up.
No, I think that's important. It's actually important context to bring up.
Okay, go on.
Arsenal, at the start of the season, a lot of my research was going to depend on looking back on lots of predictions from pundits and showing how literally none of them would have had Arsenal, at least even in the top 2, most likely.
Well, let's not forget, a lot of people had us not even in the top 4.
Yeah.
Like that, I think I'd even go as far as saying maybe the majority didn't.
Right, exactly.
So
I think with that context in mind, it kind of feels like this is less of a bottling and more being a victim of your own success. Whereas Arteta and the Arsenal players this whole season have, as I kind of said in the first segment, they've been more than the sum of their parts. They've been playing slightly above what was expected of them and have been they're further ahead in their schedule than would have been thought.
Yeah, it's like, what are we going to do? Are we literally going to punish Arteta for being too good? Because like, had we been solidly third right now, but nowhere near the title race, everyone would be going, amazing season, this is great. But all of a sudden, he's done better than that, but he's a bottle job because he's not winning the league.
Yeah, or
So it's
because
like, do you know what I
because
mean?
he's not currently top. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
this could all be completely moot if they somehow manage to bring it back.
But to be fair, I also don't like saying that because circumstances do change in football. Do you know what I mean? The goalposts do move. You set new expectations with your performances, and then you know what I mean. When a title race is on, it's on, and you want to win it. Do you know what I mean? And they've made no they've made it clear that they want to win it, and that's what's on their mind. They're not settling for top four now. So in a way, it is a bottle job. Definitely, you could say.
Okay,
But
I'm trying to defend Arsenal. I object to this. It's absolutely destroying my argument. I kind of object to it.
As far as I know, most courts don't have everyone arguing for the same side. So I'm trying to provide some context here.
But how am I meant to win if you bring up good logical points to my arguments? That doesn't make sense.
Okay, sorry. I'll shut up.
You keep fucking pipe down, will you? So, first of all,
Do you want this to be a one-man podcast? Why don't you just host
Kind
it?
of,
Okay,
kind of,
right,
yeah.
I'll just try to make it.
I just want the fans to listen and love me and all my shit opinions. But no, even with that, I do think, given a wider context, I do think it is important to take into those wider circumstances and that wider expectations of them. And even if they were able to outplay those expectations for ages, and even if they come second, I still think that's a wild like overachievement of their expectations. I think that's unfair to characterize doing that as a bottle job. I just think that term is too strong. And I think another side argument that has come from this is that Arsenal are mentally weak. The team is not mentally strong, which I think is severely unfair given this
I don't
is,
agree with that.
firstly, what we said on the premiere episode, but this is actually the premiere episode, that Arsenal are one of, if not, was it the second youngest team, the squad in the whole Premier League?
Southampton's lower, yeah, but yeah, we're the second, yeah.
So the second youngest. So these are young players. Not many of them have done this before, done this kind of thing before. Obviously, you've got veterans like Xhaka and Jorginho who are a bit more experienced. But the Bayer, like the foundation is based on young, promising players, and they've never been in this position. And for the vast majority of the first 3 quarters of the season, were so consistent. They won week in, week out, pulled out guy performances from what looked like losses, and I think even being
and that, by the way, was totally not a factor in years gone by. Like that, when have you ever seen Arsenal pull last minute performances out of the bag in the last 10 years? This was the season we really started doing that.
Exactly, and I think it showed actually a lot of mental toughness to even maintain the lead that they had on Man City this whole time, when, let's be honest, Man City have a better squad. They're more experienced. They've done this before. They have, shall we forget, they have the fucking top Premier League goal scorer of all time. So to even have a chance, be even in the fucking conversation, shows supreme mental toughness from a young group of players. And I think anyone who suggests otherwise is a fucking moron. Sorry, I should say should say something more legally fair, but I can't think of the term right now because I didn't plan this opening. So let's say they are a moron. I did have...
The plaintiff will not be exonerated.
I did. This is I think I would be disbarred for this opening. I'm not sure my law firm will be getting more clients after this.
I will say, just on the mentality thing, I will say what will really solidify or break it is... What?
No, sorry. I was vamping a bit there if you didn't notice because I forgot what my final point was, but it just came back to me. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You stopped.
I was just going to say, what will really break or solidify the mentality thing is how we do next season. So if we can make this not a blip, if we can make this a Liverpool type situation where we're consistently challenging them for the title, that will really show that our mentality is here to stick around. Do you know what I mean? Or if we fade away and we become a Chelsea or a Liverpool of this year, then maybe those rumors will be somewhat. God, I articulate that so bad.
Don't worry.
You get what I mean.
We all do it.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I mean.
You got 70% of the way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what's
Finish, Your Honor.
particularly interesting with that is they'll have Champions League, and obviously that adds a new whole thing, competition that they have to worry about. But my final point to you, the jury, the jury of football, Twitter, and general online discourse, is this. Key injuries. We cannot forget these key injuries. Saliba has been a foundation of Arsenal's defense, and it would have been, I think, all of my points before still stand, but I could have understood it saying that Arsenal balled this title if Saliba had not gotten injured and the same results had happened. I would have understood that. That would have been the same team for no reason falling out of form, dropping 9 points in games that they at least should have gotten a lot more from.
Mm-hmm.
But to lose probably at least a key part of your defense, I'm not going to say the most key part of the defense because they're all fucking great or all have been good this season. But yeah, to lose him, and it's been a clear drop off from his injury to the recent negative result. I don't think it's the only reason, but it's like
I say it's a significant part of it
for sure.
It's
Undeniable.
That's not a bash on Rob Holding because I actually think on in an individual level he's actually been pretty okay, but it's more to do with the way the style of our play has changed. Like we've had to play a much deeper line, and that's impacted stuff going forward. It's like it's changed the whole structure of the team. So yeah, I think we can pretty safely pin a lot of that on Saliba's injury to be like without trying to make excuses.
Yeah, and not to bash Rob Holding in the presence of the number one Rob Holding apologist, but I think it was even a further point is the injury of Tomiyasu, which if he was able to play, you shift Ben White, you get Tomiyasu right back. Who knows how much of that difference that makes? Because then you're
that was our back four last season, and that was a really solid back four.
Exactly,
one of the best in the
you're
league.
far more able to maintain that defense and that style of play that was successful for so much of the season. So those two key injuries, all the previous points before, I think it's fair to say I have definitely proved my point 100%. And I rest my fucking case.
Football frauds, guilty.
I'm not fucking leaving. You're done.
And just to tack on to that point as well. Sorry, I know you're trying to get off the segment now.
No, go ahead.
In contrast, look at City's squad, and like they've had significant injuries as well. But like, oh well, Haaland's out for a couple games. Oh, that's fine. We'll just bring on World Cup winner Julian Alvarez. Do you know what I mean? What?
Open it.
Open what?
Sorry, just continue. Sorry.
Shambles.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, what were you saying? Julian Alvarez? Yeah, I was listening.
Ruben Diaz gets injured. Bring on Laporte, world class centre back. You understand my point? They've got an unbelievable squad depth, and they're not impacted by injuries the same way.
Oh yes, I unrest my
Carry
case,
on. What
and
the fuck are you doing
I
with
do
my
the
phone?
same point I did there. I was gonna do a segment, but I've now realised that it's not gonna work. So
What the fuck is this though?
here. So I want you to take your phone there, and I want you to open up BBC Sport. Is what I want you to do.
Okay. Weirdo.
This is my segment. My segment planning is not great. As I said, I was out drinking earlier in the day instead of planning the podcast.
Yeah.
I take full
Trust
responsibility
me, I can tell.
for the absolute shit show that the show has been so far.
Nah, I've not been great either. We split the load.
I think you've been absolutely perfect.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, thank you. We'll see if this segment's gonna work. I'm not sure it will, but I'm gonna try it. So obviously, I hate to keep bringing it up, but while this is technically the premiere episode, it's not really the premiere episode because we did an episode 0 as a test run of this show, which no one will ever hear. I'm not sure if I said that already, but it's locked in a vault deep down. I threw it into the Atlantic Ocean. Hopefully no one will ever see from it again. Hopefully it never washes up on an island and no one will ever have to be subjected to that absolute audio torture. What's your problem? Are you
Nothing.
okay? Okay.
No, it's fine.
You seem to be cowering in fear.
No.
But one problem with that podcast is we talked about recent news of Chelsea possibly hiring Pochettino and Spurs getting fucked by Newcastle. And obviously the problem wasn't that we covered them, it was just that we fucking talked about them for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So in an attempt to keep down the talk of other clubs,
Right to those wrongs.
but also include important footballing news around the world, I am introducing a segment called the what? Why
How's it going?
The 5-minute world recap. I didn't think of a name.
Do you mean do a little on the spot jingle?
Yeah, go for it.
5-minute world recap.
There you go. That's a good segment name. Where we're gonna quickly go around and discuss any important football news going on that week or that we have things to comment about. Or
Okay.
limited 5 fucking minutes. That's enough.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. The ticking clock. We've got 5 minutes. I haven't even brought out which news stories we're going to talk about yet. I'm just going to go on BBC Sport here. Oh, wow. See, yes, the game was happening just right now.
Sorry, can we just quickly address what are we hearing right now?
This is the ticking bomb.
What's a bomb?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, right.
If we don't discuss every important news story within this 5 minutes, we're fucked. Okay, and you're wasting time.
Right, let's disarm
okay,
this then.
sorry,
Let's
the
go.
first story here. I was watching this Brighton Man United game in the pub, and apparently Brighton won with a late penalty.
No way,
Yeah.
really? Who scored?
It's showing a picture of McAllister, so you've got to assume it's him.
I like to hear that. That's good.
I think that the bomb was a bit loud, so I've turned it down. Okay, keep going, keep scrolling. Well, I don't want it's fucking cycling. Get the cycling out of my feed. Can you think of any other important news? Oh, Napoli have officially won the Italian title. That's cool, isn't it?
That's cool, especially after the Champions League. I was pretty disappointed that they got knocked out of the Champions League because I feel like both the Milan clubs are going to get absolutely fucking doppied in the final by Madrid or
Yeah.
City. So
Yeah, it's funny that it's a Milan derby in the semi-final, and they're not even in the top. They're not even in the top 4 of Serie A, either of them.
yeah, they've both been shite this season, and they're going to get absolutely mashed. So
One of them's going to be in the final, though.
would have been nice if it could have been Napoli, but yeah.
Yeah, they played great stuff. Obviously, they followed a bit, especially they kind of struggled with Ossie Hyman. He was out for a little bit, but obviously it's still great for them. That's their first one in 33 years, and it was a great team. Obviously, Kvaratskhelia. I went through that. I've not said it right, but go for it. How is it said then?
Kavat.
Okay, fuck you. Yeah, okay. I at least tried to do it quickly. He's obviously been great.
We're on the clock here.
I want Arsenal to sign him. Reading got relegated. Fuck, I kind of like Reading. That's sad. I don't like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
League One. Depressing. They've been run like shit. They've been run like absolute wank. And it makes me mad.
Yeah, it feels like just the other day they were in the fucking Prem. That's kind of mad.
Yeah. Them and Wigan.
Wow,
they were both like
Wigan.
stalwarts of the Premier
Where are
League.
Wigan now? League One?
Yeah.
Shit.
Both when those were both like fun clubs as I was joining, becoming a Premier League fan.
Yeah, Hugo Rodallega.
Anyway, that's enough
Beast.
about championship teams. How about this?
Hugo?
It seems you're wasting our time on Hugo Rodallega. Anyway, obviously, and there's been a lot of news about how Bellingham has been very heavily linked, and it seems almost confirmed that he's going to Real Madrid. What's your thoughts on
like
that?
to hear that, baby.
You like? Because he's not going to.
Well, he wasn't
Liverpool.
coming to Arsenal, so I'd prefer that much over Liverpool and definitely over City. So
Yeah, definitely over City. What makes me upset is I was obviously off pod. We were talking, and I was kind of hoping. Obviously, I'm not sure how realistic, not realistic at all. But I kind of wanted Arsenal to sign Bellingham because I feel like they're missing that just elite.
we don't have the money or the pool for that kind of player.
Yeah, it still makes me upset.
Well, we weren't really ever in the race. I don't know why you got your hopes up.
Because I talked myself into it.
Can we just quickly acknowledge how overpowered Real Madrid's midfield is now? Modric, Camavinga, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Bellingham. I'm missing another one. There's another one, isn't there?
There's Xavi, no, he's a manager now.
Toni Kroos.
Yeah, he's still kind of there.
What the fuck is that midfield? That's ridiculous.
They have to match Man City,
I'll tell you what I'm slightly hoping for is that one of them will be up for sale. Maybe Arsenal could get someone like Camavinga, maybe.
Tchouaméni, yeah, that'd be any of them.
I take
I fucking love
Camavinga
Valverde.
especially.
I fucking love Valverde as well. He's so good.
I mean, he's not going, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, none of them are.
Probably not.
Yeah. Anyway, probably not to Arsenal at least. Sorry. We quickly mentioned Big Sam hired in for Leeds. They
Yeah,
sacked
love it.
It's kind of shit management by Leeds though. They just hired Javi Garcia and they fired him like after 7 games or like 10 or whatever.
Yeah, I think he's the manager that served the second least amount of time in the history of the Premier League, or maybe third. He's like top 5 at
Yeah,
least.
I didn't realize it was that low.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, no. So what are your thoughts on Big Sam? Do you think they will be able to do anything with Leeds?
I fuck.
Save them.
He's funny for the memes and stuff, but yeah, they're going down.
Oh wow, they're going down.
Unfortunately, because I actually kind of like Leeds.
It's Big Sam though.
I like them for the history and aspect and stuff. So.
All right, and we want to give a shout out to Roy Hodgson here. Actually, he's got a new story in here.
Doing a banging job. So
Yeah, that's basically all. I just want to give a shout out.
Yeah.
Roy fucking Hodgson. Who would have thought it?
Is it how many wins is that on the bounce now? 2 or 3?
I don't know. What astounds me most about that is, it's like they're good wins. They're scoring loads of goals. They're playing really well.
And not only that, but that was their problem under Vieira, was that they weren't scoring anything. What's happening?
We've only got about 10 minutes.
Take
10 seconds
cover.
left. Is there any news left? No, we talked about that. Oh yeah, more Man United bits.
Oh my
Who's
God.
gonna buy Man United? I don't fucking know.
Sorry, save yourself.
Okay. I think we fit in it all the
Oh,
important
you
stuff.
started it. Oh, good job.
Yeah, just in time. We managed to talk.
I can keep my limbs.
We
I
managed
like
to talk about enough significant news stories not involving Arsenal in the 5 minutes world recap to disarm the bomb.
5 minute world recap.
There you go. We should just stop making jingles and have you do them.
do it live, yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. God, that's a fucking old meme. Anyway, so yeah, we're approaching the end of the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been a scintillating listen.
I actually think it's been pretty good, actually. Fuck you for that sarcasm. Fuck you.
Just a bit of self-deprecation. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
Come on.
You gotta portray confidence, you know? You gotta make people believe.
Do you?
Sell that snake oil.
Never done that before.
Much like Kendall Roy, you gotta make them believe, even if what you're selling is bullshit, that
Oh,
they
the
need it.
Succession references.
Oh, so good.
Never ending.
We're not talking about that. We're gonna do a quick little hit on the Arsenal-Chelsea game. Do you have anything to say about? Yeah. Do you have anything to say about Chelsea Arsenal being Chelsea 3-2-1?
It was just ridiculous. We were good, but it was more about how shit they were. I just couldn't fucking believe how. I knew they were bad, but I thought they might turn up because it was a London derby and stuff. But they just didn't. I think Aubameyang had 8 touches the entire game, 4 of which were kickoffs.
Oh my god!
So 4 outfield touches all game, which was just abysmal. Yeah, they were just awful all around, and we were good for the first 50, 60 minutes.
It's a great goal by Odegaard, that first goal.
Yeah,
cracker.
He pretty much scored the same goal twice, actually. It was like the same cross from Xhaka, the same movement to find the space. Yeah, he was great, and just an all-round pretty decent team performance, and hopefully that's a return to form. Yeah,
a solid win.
A special shout out to Kivior as well, who I thought did great for one of his first. I don't know if it is his league debut. I think he might have started one game before, but it's certainly some of his first major minutes.
Yeah. One can hope that
solid.
He kind of develops and can kind of fill that role as like first backup for centre back and have that be more. Yeah, I
definitely think it should be him rather than Holding for the next few games.
Yeah, I think it's obviously the hope. Maybe Arteta, maybe he's trying out because Holding is it's not worked out.
It's not worked out.
We're trying to be kind.
That's the nicest way of putting it.
We're trying to be kind. I want to. Obviously, this is not an Arsenal podcast. We have to quickly discuss Frank Lampard because I want to ask you if you think what Frank Lampard has done in this stint with Chelsea is the worst managerial performance you can remember in Premier League history.
Was that 6 losses on the bounce?
Because I think it is. Obviously, it's not long term, but I cannot remember.
It's got to be up there. Okay, well, let's have a quick think. Who's comparable?
Obviously, you have like team. I find it's like a different situation because obviously the first thought that came to my mind is like, oh, teams that have like low record points, like that Derby team in 2000.
No, it's got to be relative to the expectations.
Yeah, exactly. So
relative
I was like,
to the squad you have.
That was a team that got promoted. So yeah, it's not. While obviously they were historically bad, I don't think that's the same situation.
Do Chelsea have the most expensive squad in the league?
I think
it's certainly top 2, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's not them, it's City. So yeah.
So with that kind of squad, that's just not anywhere near good enough, is it?
Yeah, it's abysmal. And obviously, you can lay a lot of the blame of this at the feet of Todd Bowley and this ridiculous transfer policy.
God, he's awful.
I know. I find a lot of the coverage of him interesting because I'm a basketball fan and pay attention to the NBA, and you have this thing in the NBA which Bill Simmons he's talked about is new owner syndrome, where a new NBA owner will come in, and I think NBA teams they kind of or have switched owners a lot more prominently in recent years than like in the Premier League. So this has become like more of a historically documented thing, and it's like noticeable. Like a new owner will come in and he'll want to make a big splashy move immediately. He'll want to change the like paradigm of his team, and most of the time it doesn't work and it's stupid because they don't know what they're doing. They've just been so successful in life and in business that they're like, oh, I fucking know what I'm doing. I know how to run a business. Let's fucking do this trade. And it's just like, no, you actually don't know what you're doing. You don't. Yeah,
Todd Bowley's got that energy all over, and at least in the NBA, I imagine a lot of the people buying the teams are basketball fans. This feels like Todd Bowley's first time watching football was post him buying Chelsea.
Right, yeah.
It's just like a ridiculous level. Like, never mind, like he's not even had a place in European sports. Never mind football. Never mind English football. Do you know what I mean?
I'll buy this entertainment brand called Chelsea FC. I
It
hear
really
they're
is
pretty
like
popular.
that. Yeah, it really is like that.
Let me look up some FIFA videos to see how the football game looks like. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know what Todd Bowley's like. I don't know if he's a fucking massive football fan. Who knows? But what I find
I'm walking around outside restaurants going, yeah, I think we'll win 3. I don't know why he's cockney all the time. I think we'll win 3-0.
Expert accent work is what the listeners come here for. No, what? Last thing on Chelsea, because we've given them too much airtime, but what I find astonishing is, while I understand that the transfer policy is bad, it hasn't worked, it doesn't make sense, it's an illogical way to build a team, I find it fucking ludicrous that a team with the players that Chelsea have are so offensively inept. They're like, I think they're like the 4th lowest scoring team in the league. And that's just crazy to me with all the talent players that they have. I know obviously football is more than that, but you think it would be enough to at least be like league average.
You think so, wouldn't you?
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So, maybe they'll get relegated. They're not that far off.
I think I read that it's mathematically impossible now.
Really?
Yeah, not like if you look at the table, it doesn't look like it, but the teams below them play each other enough that they'll be taking points off each other enough that they won't. That didn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, someone out there.
I think I'm a bit drunk as well.
Anyway, that I think that concludes our show for today. It was off the rails. It was a drunk one. I think it was a perfect premiere episode for what you can expect from Stupid Sexy Arse, don't you think?
Please tune in next week. I'm begging you.
Well, we'll try and make it a bit better.
If you hear this.
Do you have any parting message you'd like to say? Because obviously on episode 0, you had an inspiring speech you gave to the Arsenal community.
I'm not gonna quite as overboard this time. I'll just say, just generally don't give up yet. Do you know what I mean? Back the team. Oh, I'm getting cut off. Okay.
I'm just playing intro music as we go into the intro.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. All I'm saying is, just generally don't give up. Back the team, and yeah, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger Things has happened. I've watched it on Netflix. Anyway, that's enough from us.
Very good.
Stupid Sexy Arse. I hope you enjoyed. We certainly enjoyed it. I'm sure you could hear it in our voices. I think we peaked the microphones multiple times. We're trying our best. It's episode 1. Please check back in. Follow, subscribe, listen, like, whatever, all that bullshit. That's enough. Equally stupid, equally sexy. It's Stupid Sexy Arse.
Peace.